We're at MatterHackers, and my name is Mara, and this is the 3D printing nerd, Joel Telling.
Hello.
So let's talk about who is Joel Telling behind the camera.
Behind the camera.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a husband and a father of 3, and we live in the Seattle area. I'm a software developer by day. My kids play sports. My wife is awesome. After everybody goes to bed, then I get to produce content for my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. That's like 95% of my life right there.
So full-time job, 3 kids, family, pets?
Oh yes, we have 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
We have 2 dogs, an old dog and a young dog, and they like to play.
And then how many printers are we at right now?
18.
18.
I think.
18 printers.
I lost count after 14.
Wow.
15.
So lots going on.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So let's talk about your YouTube channel.
Okay.
So how did you start it? How did that happen?
Well, I've always produced videos, and I've always recorded videos, and I liked editing videos. It was just something fun to do. When I got my first 3D printer, I thought this is something cool, and I want to talk about it, and I want to tell people about it. And I have a YouTube channel, so why not make some YouTube videos about 3D printing and 3D printers and my experience with them. I used OpenSCAD to design a GoPro camera rig, and I thought that would be a good way to segue into some sort of instructional YouTube video talking about how I used this 3D modeling software to make a thing, and then I printed this real world thing, and then I tested this real world thing. And from there, I just kept going with it. I kept printing models I would find. I would film time lapses with my GoPro. I would talk about it. I was honest with the audience. I started reaching out to manufacturers saying, hey, I have this channel. I love 3D printing. Can I review some filament, or could I borrow a printer to review? And then it just kind of took off like crazy pants. And
you just crossed what big threshold?
My latest threshold, or my latest milestone, was 30,000 YouTube subscribers.
30,000 YouTube subscribers.
I checked earlier this morning, and I think I'm a little bit over 33,000 at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, I might hit 35,000 before my contest for 30,000 is over, which is crazy.
Yeah. So when you hit these milestones, you share the love with your audience, and you do giveaways.
That's right.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Well, the idea between these milestones, they're incredible milestones, and it takes people watching my videos and people subscribing to my channel in order to reach these milestones. So I want to give back, and it helps because then I'm rewarding a loyal fan base, but at the same time, by asking manufacturers to donate products to then give away, they're getting some marketing via this giveaway that I do, and it's been incredible because I've had manufacturers reach out to give filaments, gift cards, and 3D printers through these giveaways. In fact, with my 30,000 subscriber contest, I have 2 different 3D printers and quite a number of rolls of filament to give, all to one very lucky individual.
Wow, so you got 2 printers that's going to go all to one person.
Everything goes to one person at this point. For the next milestone, I was thinking of doing every 10K, depending on how fast I achieve these milestones. But if the prize pool builds to a point that I think is slightly too big to give to all to one person, then I'll start to break it up and have multiple winners.
Okay.
But with this one, there's a fully built 3D printer, there's a kit 3D printer, and there's a range of filaments. And I figured that's a decent starting point, because when I first got started, I know I had 1 printer, but having a kit would have helped me learn. And so hopefully someone willing to learn is going to be winning this. That'd be kind of cool.
That's great. So there's a number of 3D printing YouTube channels that have popped up. Some came before you, and many came after you. What sets yours apart from the others?
I like to say I have the dad brand of 3D printing. I try to relate technical ideas and concepts in a way that even young people can understand and comprehend. And then I try to keep my videos as family friendly as possible, because I'm able to achieve a greater audience. Plus then my videos can be used in educational facilities and schools, because they don't have to worry about censoring content for the younger viewers. So that's where that is.
Yeah. And 3D printing in classrooms is taking off. I mean, at MatterHackers, we see a lot of that. We have a lot of requests for printers from schools, and the one thing that the industry does not have a ton of yet is the how-tos and the content and the curriculum for what to do with the 3D printers.
That's right. You see, at least in the high school that's nearest us, where my kids will be going to school, there's 2 printers in the engineering classroom, and there's a little bit of dust on them. You can tell that they haven't been used, and it's either the printers have broken down and they don't know how to fix them and they're waiting on warranty parts, or the manufacturer isn't responding because that happens, or they just don't know how to teach things that can use the 3D printers. And so going forward, that's going to be one of the things that really kicks this into the next gear is a curriculum for 3D printing available for anyone in the school system that wants to teach this to the younger population.
Yeah. No, it's we see I think that's the most depressing thing, is when you go into a school or you hear about a school that's got a 3D printer that's collecting dust because either it's not working or they don't know what to do with it. So
That's
I think
right.
as an industry, we're trying to fix that problem, but it's so sad because there's so many schools that just, if they only had a 3D printer, they would know exactly how to use it and know exactly what to do with it.
That's right.
So we gotta watch out for that.
I think so.
So what inspires you about 3D printing? What do you see as the future of 3D printing?
Well, what I see about the future is that 3D printing is going to evolve into some sort of technology or method that we don't currently have or can't conceive of yet. 3D printing is still in its infancy, and it's going to take us into the future, but we really have to concentrate and learn and try to use the technology we have available today in order to get it to evolve, and we have to hopefully get us ready for the future.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I love actually about your channel and other YouTube channels for 3D printing, is that they do become this point for the everyday person to start to learn about 3D printing, get curious about it enough to the point where they get their own machine, and then they start kind of tinkering around with the open source, and maybe one of those people is the next person that makes the new greatest discovery in 3D printing and pushing this technology forward.
That's true. I hear all the time from people who say I was the inspiration behind them starting a 3D printing channel on YouTube, or talking to their teacher about a project, or even I heard from someone that said you were the inspiration behind us getting a grant to build this a makerspace, right?
Yeah.
That's great. And who knows, any one of those people that I inspired may be the person that comes up with the next technology that evolves 3D printing and takes us to the next step. But that's wonderful. That's what we need, right? We need this influx of young, hungry, just talented individuals that want to carry it forward.
Yeah. So speaking of this next generation of people that want to carry it forward, a lot of my friends have kids 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and when I say, what do you want to be when you grow up? 90% of them say, I want to be a YouTube star. So what advice, and I actually we do get calls from and emails from other YouTubers that are just starting out, and some of them are in elementary school or in middle school, and they do say, I want to be the next Joel Telling. So what advice would you give those kids or those adults that have a camera and they have a 3D printer and they're like, I can do this, this is easy. If this guy can do it or that girl can do it, I can do it. And they're about to press play or about to press record, what advice would you give to those people?
Well, that's dangerous right there. Well, first, I continue to think every day. I think that what has happened to me is a fluke, because it's interesting to think about how I just did that. I grabbed a camera and I started recording my 3D printer and I talked about it, and now I'm at the level that I'm at today. So for anyone that wants to start, first and foremost, you can't think that you're going to do this as a career. It's not going to get you $1 million, and you're not going to become rich and famous doing YouTube videos.
You're not rich
Sure.
and famous?
That's funny. You can't. A lot of people try to go into YouTube thinking that they're going to launch their first video that's going to achieve viral success, and then all of a sudden they're going to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and YouTube ad money up the yin yang, and then that's what they're going to do. And that's never ever going to happen ever. I mean, I say that knowing that there's always that slim chance that someone's going to break through and something's going to happen. But I don't want to give too much hope. I want people to concentrate on making good content. So here's what you need to do. If you want to start a YouTube channel and you want to make content, light your scene well. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever hardware store is near you and get yourself an extra light. They're cheap. Get good audio and make sure there's not a lot of noise around you. Printer noise is okay because you're going to be talking about printers, but at some point, when you're talking to the camera, there shouldn't be printer noise, and we should just hear your crystal clear, awesome voice. Lastly, cut. Edit your videos. Don't just have a shaky camera in your hand where you're videotaping things and talking to it. Actually turn the camera, put it on you, put it on a tripod, light your scene, get good audio, and talk to the camera like it's your best friend. Knowing all of that, go to school, get a job, pay your bills, work hard, pay attention to your kids, love your spouse.
Yeah. What sparked your interest in 3D printing?
3D printing is interesting because it segues well into my nerd and my geek, right? I've been a nerd or a geek all my life. I loved Transformers as a kid and G.I. Joes, and I used to take apart my toys and combine them together to make new ones, and I used cardboard to build these forts for my G.I. Joes and my Transformers, and I actually used string to make trap doors and stuff.
Wow.
And I've liked electronics, and I've liked technology, and I like building stuff, and it just seemed like the natural progression for my nerdiness, right? Because it's a computer controlled thing, melting a bunch of plastic and making stuff, right? It's just awesome. Why wouldn't I want to do that, especially knowing what I like and what I want to do? So that's how I kind of got started in 3D printing, in that I would start reading about it and doing more research and stuff like that. It wasn't until a year ago Christmas that my wife and kids, there was a FlashForge Creator Pro on sale on Amazon, and they bought it for me and gave it to me for Christmas. And that's how I got my first 3D printer. But my interest in 3D printing was born long, long ago when I first started playing Atari video games and playing with my G.I. Joes.
Mm-hmm. And when did you first see your first 3D printer?
Probably in a news, I don't remember the exact time that I saw. I mean, I read news articles. I followed Jerry Berg, Barnacle Nerdgasm. I would watch his channel, and James Brunton, I think, would watch his channel. And I saw those before I had my first 3D printer. I joined Facebook 3D printing groups before I had my first 3D printer, just to lurk. And I just tried to absorb as much information as possible before I acquired one. I knew I was going to get one eventually. It was just my wife and kids buying one for me for Christmas just happened to be that event.
Yeah. So your interest in 3D printing was largely, if not sparked, fueled by the existing 3D printing YouTube channels and online forums and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely. So there was always that small little spark of interest, and then you throw this fuel on that spark, like YouTube videos and the Facebook groups and companies that do 3D printing tweeting out photos, and all of that just adds fuel to that spark, and it erupts into a bit of a flame. And then I got my first printer, and it's all history from there.
Yeah, and now you are actually the one that is sparking for other people.
That's right. I hear it from people all the time,
yeah.
And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It is absolutely wonderful that I can get someone interested in this, that I can be the fuel to their fire.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the community of YouTube 3D printing channels. The people, it seems like there's a lot of synergy between channels. You guys do live streams together, you tweet at each other. There's like this community, this camaraderie of all the people that have their own 3D printing channels. So I'm curious to hear a little bit about that from your view.
I know quite a number of people who have 3D printing related channels on YouTube, and I think, well, partly because I'm one of the most subscribed, and partly because I try to find out more. I get people tweeting at me or posting in my Facebook saying, have you seen this, or hey, check out my channel, and I do that as often as I can. But then I just try to establish relationships with all of these channels. It does no good for the industry as a whole if we're these islands in the ocean, right? We need to connect and work together and promote each other, and that just elevates the industry as a whole. And so that's at least in my experience, that's what's kind of happened within the social networks where 3D printing is involved, because there's I follow a lot of people on Twitter who do 3D printing, and a lot of people follow me, and we retweet each other and interact. There's lots of different Facebook groups where we're able to help new people with their problems, or promote and expose people to what we're doing so far. I subscribe to a bunch of different YouTube creators. I support a bunch of different YouTube 3D printing creators and other makers via Patreon. It's just a way to kind of keep up with the community and keep our communication lines open.
Yeah. So I see it as you all kind of supporting each other, as far as, you have somebody on your channel, you have more viewers, then they get more viewers, and vice versa. But you're saying that there's also, you can financially support each other, you can support each other's viewers by giving everybody advice on the forums and on the Facebook channels and everything.
That's right.
So really, I just think it's a very fascinating little community that all of these content creators have made for yourselves. It's really fun to watch.
I like it because everybody has their own niche, and even though we're all 3D printing, this person doesn't do it exactly the same as this person, who doesn't do it exactly the same as this person. And so our Venn diagram circles, they intersect because of 3D printing, but we each take 3D printing and give our own opinions on it and produce our own videos in our own style about it. And so it's more content about 3D printing it's not adversarial, it's more uplifting, and it helps the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
As much as I want to tell people, hey, you need to work hard to do this, no one ever really gets it, right? I have a full-time job, and then I come home and I spend time with my wife and my 3 kids, and then we have dinner and we watch shows or we play games.
And I know you're a full-on dad. You go to every game, you go to everything.
Everything that I can go to, I do go to. And then
you post it on Facebook.
I do post it on Facebook. I try to. And then my kids go to sleep. And then my wife and I have some time where we can watch our shows or do some chores or clean up some stuff. And then she goes to sleep. And then that's when I can start doing things for my YouTube channel. And so, yes, I've seen a great amount of success, right? More than I could have possibly imagined. And I know I think it's a fluke. I think about that every day, but at the same time, I've put in a lot of work at this. I've put in so many hours. I sacrifice sleep for this. And I know I can't do it forever, but I found a happy medium, and I think I can produce quality content while still maintaining a healthy life. That's what you have to do, and that's what people have to realize. If you want to be at a certain level, you have to sacrifice, and you have to give it some time. And so if these kids are in elementary school, they still, eventually they're going to have homework, they're going to have extracurricular activities, they're going to have dinner, they're going to have shows that they want to watch. So doing this YouTube thing is a lot of fun, and I've realized a lot of success, but it's been at the expense of sacrificing things. And so do what I said about YouTube, right? Get the quality audio, light your scene, point the cameras yourself, put it on tripod, talk to it like it's your best friend, but be prepared to give up some other things in order to try and achieve YouTube fame. Right. It sounds so doom and gloom.
Well, so the next question is, let's talk about the fun part. Let's talk about the fun part of what's been like the biggest surprise besides your, the success. It sounds like was a surprise. You didn't expect to get so big.
That's true.
In a relatively short amount of time. It's been a year and a half.
Yeah,
right?
It's been a year and a half.
Yeah. So talk about a couple of like amazing surprises that have been so much fun that you would have never expected going into it.
Here's something interesting, and it happened very, very recently when I was down at the Bay Area Maker Faire. When you guys brought me down, that was a lot of fun. I think it was day 2, and I was there before everybody else. And so I loaded up Periscope on my phone, and I started walking around and just showing people the different booths before they loaded up. I passed by the Raise 3D printers, and someone saw that on my Periscope and decided to go buy that printer, and they told the company that they bought it because they saw it on my Periscope. So the company reached out to me and said, we would like to give you a printer, will you please review it? They've sent me the Raise 3D N2 Plus 3D printer. It's a $3,500 US printer. It showed up at my house on a pallet.
Wow, because it's a massive printer.
It's a massive printer, and it's still in my hallway because, again, I don't have a lot of time to do this.
Right.
But that's amazing. That is jaw-dropping amazing. Something I affected a sale simply by giving a tour, and in recognition, they sent me something.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen all the time, but that's, you said, talk about some of the amazing things. That's literally amazing, right?
And I think that actually speaks to what the other thing that sets your channel apart is that you'd be doing this anyway. You know, like you're just he's just a guy that's doing what's fun and doing what he loves. You've got an actual passion for it. You happen to turn on a camera, people happen to watch, and that's what's different. You didn't go into it going, I'm going to make so much money on this. I have to quit my job, or I have to make enough money on this because I don't have a job. Like, you're just doing it for fun.
Right.
And that we all get to learn about 3D printing and all that, but we just get to participate in the fun.
It is a ton of fun, and I hope I convey that fun in my videos. It's not an act, right? If I'm joyous and jubilant on videos, it's literally because I'm joyous and jubilant in real life. I know I sounded doom and gloom, but I mean, I am making a little bit of money off of this, and because of that success, I am on a track record where it's an okay secondary income, and it really helps out with bills and stuff, and it's great. It's hard. It's really hard to convey. It's really hard to convey just how much hard work it is versus how much fun I have, because everybody sees the fun. I try to edit my videos so that they're getting longer in content, but I try to cut out the space where I'm breathing in between words, right? I'm trying to compress things. I'm trying to just show as much fun and good info and just awesome printers and things that I can find. But no one realizes, you know, I'm up until 3 a.m. editing these things for a 7 a.m. Deadline, or no one realizes that for the longest time, up until 12 or 13,000 subscribers, I literally read every single YouTube comment I had and answered every single one, right? I don't think people realize how often you're hit up on Twitter, on Facebook, on the YouTube comments, on Instagram, right? If people try to find ways to contact you, because at the level I'm at, people view you as a source of information, and so in 3D printing, there's not a lot of popular sources of information. So if they watch my videos, hey, they reach out and try to ask questions, and I try to answer. There are times when I'm brushing my teeth and I'm browsing through my social media feed, and I'll type out some answers to people. It's just
you're living it. You're living it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We love your channel. We're so
Thank
happy
you.
you're here at MatterHackers.
Thanks for letting me come by. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And we'll see you soon.